Hey, TC. I am so proud of you guys. You guys have really shown up for this. And tonight we're kind of showing off. You guys are looking good. I'm so ridiculously excited about this Zoom. I have two sweet friends on here. One I actually just met today, Chelsea Gilbert. But you may remember I shared her story on the team wall a couple of weeks ago because when I read it, it kind of had me in tears. And I don't believe that there's any accident that she has spoken up to help me out tonight. So I'm just going to go ahead and give her the floor and just let her speak because I think her story is really going to do it for you. Chelsea, you are unmuted. I'm going to mute myself and you have the floor, honey bun.
Okay. So my husband and I dated all through college. We got married right after I was 23, and we actually found out we were expecting like 6 weeks after we got married. So I was, my son was 6 months old, and I had been able to stay at home with him the whole time. But and my husband had a great job, so I was already a stay-at-home mom. But I was getting in trouble for spending extra money on kids' clothes, and I hated the budget. And I was like, well, what can I do? And I had tried the wraps. I had great results. And my friend, I had actually referred 3 or 4 of my friends to her, and they were her customers. And they, to this day, are still her loyal customers, my best friends. And she was like, well, if you keep referring people to me, you should just sign up because you'll get the free product credit. And I thought, well, I have 4 more friends I could refer to her. I myself and commission. And so I did. I signed up, and I really did not do a lot with it because I did not have a strong reason why. It was more of just, free product credit. Maybe I'll get some extra kids' clothes. And so when I got my first check of $50, I was actually really excited. I was like, awesome. Yay. That's like several outfits I can get without getting in trouble. And, I would post. I wasn't very consistent. I would tell people about it in person if they asked me, but I was not really what you would call a runner by any means. About 6 months after I joined, I had a friend that I knew through actually a guy I dated in high school. So when you say, I have no one to buy from me, of course, she's not the person that's come into my mind. But she came to me, and her husband was a missionary in Africa. They had lived there for 2 years, and they had just gotten home. And he's a school teacher. And she said, I need $300 extra a month to make it. Can I do that with It Works? And at that point, I had continuously gathered customers. I did not have a single distributor 6 months in, not one single person that joined my team. She was the first person that had showed me interest. And I thought, well, there's been months where I've had a lot of orders that I've made that, but I don't know if you can do that unless you work hard, but I wanted her to join my team so bad, and I wanted to help her so bad. So she joined, and she became my why in that moment. I wanted her to be able to stay at home with her kids. I wanted her to be able to be successful. And I knew that in order for her to be successful, I was going to have to step up as a leader because I wasn't doing the things that she needed to do to be successful. So why would she do it if I wasn't? And so we started running together. We were posting, we were reaching out to people. And in that time where she was crying to me saying, I've already made $300 a month. And that was my end goal. And 2 or 3 months in, she was making that plus more. And we just started having people come to us in all different areas of their life needing money really bad. And each time our whys would change. This person really needs us, and this person really needs this. And we decided that if we were stepping up doing what we were supposed to do, they were doing it too. And we, whenever my children are 2 and 1, and whenever we first started, something that was in the back of my mind was I would really love to be able to afford private school education one day. And I thought if I just save every month, maybe we'll be able to afford it. And I remember when this past summer, I was crying and just thinking, oh my goodness, my end goal for a year was to be able to afford private school tuition for my one son, because that's all I had at the time when I started. And then I realized, and I posted about it. I said, oh my goodness, I can afford a half of a year right now with 1 month payment. And this was last summer. And I remember being so excited about it. And then this past fall, I had a check that covered both schools, both kids for an entire year of tuition. And I just was crying, realizing by me taking the focus off of me necessarily, but onto my team, I've been able to achieve my dreams and my goals as well while helping them achieve theirs. And it's just such a humbling experience to be a part of a company that lets you help others while you're helping yourself. And you're just being a light and being a really, really strong source of income for people that, might not make it otherwise. And it's just such a great feeling. I said I didn't have a distributor for 6 months. And that was last September was when the first one joined. And I went diamond in December. I went double in, my husband signed up in January and went diamond in February. I went double in March, and then I went triple in May of last year. And I'm working for presidential now, but it's just so crazy how when you find your reasoning and you start really working for it, the momentum really picks up because you have that goal. And I think whenever I didn't have a direct reason, I didn't have that why, and I didn't have goals, and I didn't set steps to achieve those goals, then, I wasn't really having much progress. But once I had that in the forefront of my mind, it was easy every day to turn the TV off and instead follow up, or get up a little bit earlier before my kids so that I could, schedule posts or do whatever needs to be done. It was easy to realize, okay, these are my goals, and in order to achieve them, I've got to do things to get there. And it was so easy to put the work in when I started seeing those rewards and seeing the people underneath me striving because I was striving. So that's my story. And I don't know if I answered any of your questions, but
you did, actually. It was great. I was actually making a note that I didn't need to ask any questions because you really sort of covered it. I love her story because her why, she didn't really have one in the beginning except, let me get some free stuff for me. And then it just ding, 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 and there it was. And her why became these other people. And that was when everything started to fall into place, was when your why was these other people. But her why changed. She had something that she started with. Free product is great. We have lots of people that start for free product. And hers just changed, and that's totally okay, and that's totally great. Let me see. I'm sorry. Chelsea, I'm going to mute you, and then we may do question and answer at the end. I'm not sure what we'll have time for. Tamara, I'm looking for you to unmute you, unless you can see where there it is. Okay. Tamara, are you unmuted?
No.
Yay.
Yeah. No?
Yep, you're good. I can hear you now. I broke you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You guys.
Yay!
Had the opportunity to meet Tamara in person when I went to Wichita for an OTOM. And she just captured my heart. She had never met me in person, and she was so willing to be some of my feet on the ground. And it's hard doing an event out of town because I've never been to the venue. I don't know what's there. And she just jumped right in and was willing to help me. And so anyway, after the OTOM, we got to talking, and I'm trying not to steal her thunder, but I love the story because when she started,
Go ahead.
She's like, you talk, really, it's okay. She had a why, but it was a why that had been given to her. And I love this story. Okay. Talk to me, honey bun.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to apologize because I have all the dogs in my room and they talk and they bark. So my husband's going to be coming home in 15 minutes, so it's going to get really loud. So I'll be fast. I started my business February 7th, 2014. So I'm coming up on my 2 years. And I totally thought this was a scam when I first heard about it from my sponsor, and she had been posting and posting, and I got tired of it, and I was seriously gonna not unfriend her, but unfollow her, because I was so tired of seeing these belly pictures, and it was just getting really annoying. And she kept asking me to wrap, and I kept saying no, whatever. But anyways, I went shopping with my mom. She needed a wrap. She bought the Ed Pack, and she wrapped. I got her amazing results when I was at work via text message. And I decided to become a distributor because if it worked for my mom, it's probably going to work for anybody. So I became a distributor in February. And, just like Chelsea said, I didn't really do much with my business. One, because I'm so shy and I'm scared of everything. And, this kind of work freaks me out. But so I just kind of rolled with it. So it was kind of my hobby for the last 2 years. But when we were talking, she had taken me out to lunch, and she's like, I really think that this would be good for you because, you want to have babies, and, this would be a great opportunity for you to stay home, blah, blah, blah. My husband and I have been trying to have children for the past, I think this year's 10 years. And we have some fertility issues, and so when we were talking, she's like, and this can maybe help you, make that dream happen. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Sure. Let's go for it. So, me wanting children really, really bad, and then actually having children is like two completely different things. And it freaked me out even more. So I didn't really do much with my business, and I really haven't done anything with my business until I met Bethany. And I've already, at this point when we went to the One Team One Mission, I had already seen her and met her from the previous One Team One Mission with Jill. But this last time, it was just her. And I love Bethany because she's so dang funny, and she's so emotional, and it gets you in the feels for real. So she's just talking, and she was talking to me like the entire One Team One Mission. And she said at one point, she's like, you need to know what your why is. And she said, with all of my girls, whenever I sign them up, I ask them what their why is, and they say, I want to buy diapers for my kid. And she keeps saying why. And she keeps saying why until you're crying. And I sat there and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I have never cried about my why before. And I was thinking like, well, maybe that's maybe that's why I'm not really doing much, in my business, or why I'm floundering and whatever. So after the meeting, everybody went to dinner, and I was like, to have dinner with Bethany Dearborn? Heck yeah. So I went and had dinner with her, and I think I kind of freaked her out a little bit because I pointed her across the table, and I said, I need to talk to you. I said, I need you to help me find my why, because if you can do it for all of your teammates, I'm hoping you can help me. So she offered to meet with me at her hotel, and I literally think that we stayed talking for 3 hours in her lobby, and we sat there until we found my why. I didn't cry about my why when we talked to her in that lobby, but my why now has changed just because, like she said, I feel like my why had been given to me. Even though I want children and stuff, it's just not something that I'm, passionate about, because, we've been just my husband and I for so long, it's just the norm. And so when we talked, Bethany and I, she wanted to know what made me go, and, for me, that's my husband. My husband, we're very codependent, but my husband is everything. He's everything to me, and he does everything for me. And, he works so hard. He's working at a gun shop part-time almost every evening. I hardly get to see him. He's burnt out. He's stressed out. So my why now is to retire him this year. Well, this year, yes. Next year. But and after I figured out my why with Bethany, it was still, I don't even know when we met, but even still after that talk, I still wasn't doing anything about, my business. I was still being very inconsistent, and I was being very, wishy-washy, and, it was still a hobby. But January 1st happened, and I realized that I'm coming up on my 2-year mark, and I'm still an executive. And, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I really thought hard, and I prayed hard about it. And, when you pray for your business, things start happening. And, when you ask God to surprise you, he surprises you in a huge way. So, what is it, the 21st of January, and I'm 2 or 3 people away from completing a Steps to Success, which I've never done before, and my goal for this entire year is double diamond, and that will be matching his pay, his income. So I don't care what happens or how I get there. I'm going to get there because I know I can do it, and I know, with God, anything is possible. And if I get pregnant and along the way, that's cool too. So that's that.
I love you. I love you. I love you. And
You.
hush, my husband's now home, y'all. You want to come say hello? Come on, it's recording.
Oh,
This is Daddy Dearborn.
hello, ladies.
Okay.
No DJ.
No, there's no dudes. Go away. Shut the door.
Love you, lady. Bye.
Lady, bye. Okay. This is what I live with. Okay, first of all, I did not know she was going to say all that about me. It was supposed to be just about her. But I was trying to find you to mute you. Tamara, can you mute your mic just in case the dogs start barking? Guys, your why in this business cannot be given to you. It has to be, Tamara said it. She said you've got to find that thing that makes you go, oh, like when you think about it, you are equally terrified and excited and energized, and you think you might just pee your pants. It's got to be so much a part of who you are that you just want to scream to even think that it might possibly even a little bit come true. Your why has to connect. It can't be, I need to make $500 a month. Okay, that is a great start, but you've got to dig. Guys, we've just heard from 2 ladies that once they really found what made their heart sing. That's what your why is. It's what makes your heart sing. When they found that, they found the fire to do what they needed to do. You guys, I want to help you find what makes your heart sing, because that is where you fall in love with yourself again. You're going to fall in love with this business, and you will even fall in love with the downs. You won't even have to just be in love with the ups, because you'll be in love with the downs too, because it's not about filling in names on a chart. It shouldn't be about that number that gets deposited once a month. it has to be what those two things are taking you toward. Okay. I have spent the last year with the wrong why. I thought I knew, and I thought it was the right thing. And I can't say that the last year was a waste, but it was a hard year. And I want to save you guys from that hard year. We want to help you find what makes your heart sing, because when you can find what makes your heart sing, the melody and the harmony and everything just starts, it makes this beautiful life song, because you're not worried about how many boxes to fill, and you're not worried about the numbers in your check, because your heart is singing just doing it. And so those of you who are on this Zoom have the opportunity, and it's only going to be for you guys, but you have the opportunity to get with either me or Robin. You get to choose. If you're one who talks to me all the time, it's totally okay to talk to Robin. And if you're one that talks to Robin and hasn't gotten to know me, you can come to me. She has made herself available to this, even if you're not directly in her downline, which I totally adore. But we want to help you find what makes your heart sing. And so you guys, it's only for you who are here live. You get to set up a time with either Robin or myself, and we want to help you dig. I want to spend time with you like I did with Tamara that day in Wichita. And we can either do it via Zoom, or you can do a call. If you're local to me, we can get together. But we're going to sit down and we're going to hash it out. And it's going to be, okay, why are you in this business? Well, I want to make $500 a month. Why? Well, because I'm tired of being broke. Why? Why are you tired of being broke? Well, because I want to do stuff for my kids. Why? What does that mean to your kids? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to your future to be able to do this? And it sounded silly, but my goal really is to make you cry. And my legs are cramping from my workout. I'm sorry. My goal is to help you connect what's happening here with your business with what's happening here, because what's in here that is your gifts. That is your spiritual gift. That is the pull. God is pulling you toward what he has called you to. And so many people ignore this because it seems ridiculous. Y'all, it doesn't make sense that people can go make $1 million a year slinging fat patches. That just doesn't make sense. What we do here doesn't make sense. God's dreams for your little old life aren't going to make sense to the normal, average, everyday person. And that's great. I don't want my God to make sense to people. And so I don't think we can stress enough having a solid why that's attached to your heartstrings. So this is actually a bit of a shorter thing. I'm going to let Robin talk here in just a minute if she has anything to add. And then if we have questions, we'll open that up. But if you are on this Zoom, you know to message me. You need to message me or Robin tonight because I forgot to turn off the recording before I told everybody, hey, this is what you get if you're on the call. But anyway, now I'm all over the place because I'm thinking how amazing you guys are. I love you. Robin, where are you? I'm trying to unmute you. Okay. Do you have anything to add, my love?
I don't think so.
Okay. I totally just put her on the
I
spot.
didn't know I was supposed to say anything.
I know. I forgot. Y'all, your why is so important. Like, I know I keep saying this, but absolutely. Unmute.
Chelsea Gilbert.
Yeah.
Do you see the message from Chelsea?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm just going to add this really fast. So right around the time I signed my first distributor, I was at dinner with my best group of friends. We've been best friends our whole lives. And one of them had texted the other talking bad about me. And I saw it on their phone. And I mean, it broke my heart. Like, I still can't even talk about it because I was so upset. And that was the first time I really had been like, had some adversity. And I had to decide in that moment, well, am I going to quit and just prove them right that I've been given this opportunity, and I'd rather just give up than take advantage of what I have. And that's when I really decided to go for it. And that was 1.5 years ago. And I really haven't had a ton of people really make fun of me or anything like that until this past weekend. And I had the worst weekend. I was bawling, crying last Friday. And somebody had put up a Facebook status about me that just really hurt my feelings. And I had told my mom about it. I told a few people. And some of the people I didn't tell, I opened a text message from that first distributor talking about how grateful she was and how they wouldn't even be able to afford their house if it wasn't for It Works. And then I found a card that somebody had written me. It had gotten lost in the mail 3 months later. And I just happened to find it this weekend. And it was another girl that had signed under her thanking me for taking a chance and doing this, because if not, she would have never been a part of it, and how it changed her life. And I'm actually doing a fast with my church, and I didn't want to go into this without knowing, your team's opinions on things. But every day they send us an email with a devotion for the day. And my email 2 days ago was on David and how his own father didn't even believe that he was good enough to be king. And how hurtful that must have been to David, but it didn't matter because God believed in him, and God, he trusted in God instead of what other people thought of him. And I thought, I was upset because one friend didn't believe in me, but I mean, I couldn't even imagine if my parents didn't or whatever, but he still trusted in God. And then he became the one that was a man after God's own heart, and he became king later. And just thinking about that. And then today it was on Goliath, and how David defeated Goliath. And, my mom actually sent me an email, and in the beginning, she was even iffy about It Works, but talking about how there's Goliaths in your life, but you don't have to listen to them, because that's what happens when you're doing the Lord's work. Because my wife is trying to help moms stay home with their kids, and that does glorify the Lord, that, Satan doesn't want to come in and attack that, but you don't have to listen to the Goliaths in your life, and you don't have to listen to the people that don't believe in you, as long as you're putting your trust in the Lord, in knowing that you're doing something that's, really affecting the kingdom. That's just such a great feeling. And that's what really eternally matters, because even though the checks are great and the friendships are great and the freedoms are great, what you do with the platform that you've given, really sharing how it's all because of the Lord, and being able to use your relationships that you formed to show them Christ as well. I mean, it's just an amazing thing that It Works has given us on the top side of achieving our financial goals. So I just wanted to add that. I'm really sorry if that's off topic.
No, absolutely not. Nothing that the Spirit leads can be off topic. We're totally cool. My brain is reeling tonight, guys. I'm so in love with what has been said here. I did get a chat message asking everyone whose name doesn't show up on your thing to send a private message to Ready for Conference Rhonda Bays, I think is the full name she has listed here. She's helping me track who all's here. If it shows a phone number or just a first name, if you could send a message, that way we know who's here. But then everybody who is here knows, send either me or Robin a message tonight, so we know that you want to get with us to discover your why. Does anybody have anything else you'd like to add? You can flag me down or just unmute yourself and start yapping. We're pretty informal here.
I think this is our biggest Zoom ever.
I know.
Pretty awesome.
Apparently, I need to have special guests more often because people don't show up just for me. Okay. Thank you to Chelsea and Tamara. I'm so excited. And are you ladies both going to conference? Yes, from Chelsea. Tamara, will you be at conference? Is that a no? Your video froze. Okay, looks like she's getting angry.
Yes, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going.
Okay. Awesome. I will definitely look for you both. Okay, I'm stopping the recording now because I'm getting ridiculous.